Before TikTok, before YouTube creators were making bank, and before the word influencer was a thing, Carly Shay was already creating content. I'm TJ, and today we're breaking down how the famous Nickelodeon series iCarly predicted the rise of content creators, and what you can learn as a content creator. Let's get it. So iCarly premiered on Nickelodeon on September 8th, 2007, which was 18 years ago. And it's a show about three teenagers running a web show of the same name, with Carly Shay, played by Miranda Cosgrove, as the main focus. Think of iCarly as a show within a show. Around this time, YouTube and social media were in their early years. This is back when people were just uploading videos for the fun of it and to share with the world instead of worrying about algorithms, likes, subscribers, etc. And the web show came as a result of Carly and her two friends Sam and Freddie being forced to host and record auditions for their school's talent show. Freddie accidentally uploaded a video of Carly and Sam making fun of their teacher after the auditions to Splashface, which was the show's version of YouTube, and it went viral. Carly and Sam got mad at Freddie for uploading the unedited video without them knowing, but they eventually realized that they struck gold. I mean, Carly even said it herself. We can do whatever we want, say whatever we want. That meant that they had zero restrictions with what they could do on iCarly versus a different platform. Now, this is part one of a little mini series on iCarly, just like I did with WWE. If you haven't checked out those episodes, go and check them out because there are some branding lessons from WWE that you need to know after this video. And also, hit that like and subscribe button. Now, many people from my generation look at this show as a nostalgic TV series from their childhood, but looking at it from a creator perspective, they were the OG content creators. The iCarly web show was filmed in a remodeled storage area in the apartment building where the crew stayed. They had a simple one camera setup and went live every single week, and that's all due to Freddie. Freddie was the nerd of the group, but he was vital to the success of iCarly. I mean, who else was gonna run the cameras, lighting, and audio besides him, right? He was the glue that held everything together. He was a one-man army as the executive producer of iCarly. And I'm not gonna lie, I can kind of relate to Freddie having to script, record, edit, and to schedule the content myself for now. iCarly had their own in-house producer and editor, which a lot of creators have nowadays. He did all of the behind the scenes work, and sometimes he appeared on camera. And moving on to Sam, who was the wild card that everyone loved. She was unpredictable and chaotic, which made for great content on the show. And get this, she also had a criminal record, being banned from a whole continent. Like, how does that even happen? That should let you know that she was not the one to mess with. She was unapologetically herself, and that's what made her such a big asset to the show. Quick lesson, authenticity wins every single time. The web show focused on Carly and Sam as the hosts of the show. This ensured consistency and predictability. They would be the creative part of the show as they created their own material, while Freddie was on the technical side. When people tuned in, they expected to see wacky shenanigans from the duo, and sometimes they would bring in special hosts, including their friend Gibby, who added another layer of comedy to the show. And one of the things that made iCarly so special is that they tapped into their community. Their first episode did crazy numbers. They got over 37,000 views, and they quickly established loyal fans. People were constantly coming up to them at school talking about how much they loved the show. In the first episode, Carly, Sam, and Freddie set a standard for the show, which was highlighting kids with special talents. They would frequently have fan segments and shout-outs on the show. Now, one fan, or should I say a fanatic, was even invited on the show as a special guest, which, however, did not turn out well for the iCarly squad. And they also had another fanatic in a later season of the show, and things got pretty chaotic. During each show, there would be a segment in the show that would happen called random dancing. And Carly and Sam would start dancing with strobe lights flashing and music blasting in the background. And the trigger for this segment would be Carly and Sam hearing a voice yelling, that would trigger the segment. And this segment was one of the defining segments of the web show, and viewers would start dancing along with Carly and Sam. And another thing that made iCarly so great was that it was both fictional and real. People could submit videos to the reallife iCarly.com for a chance to be featured. And now, a modern example of this is TikTok's duet and stitch features where people can react to content posted by their favorite creators. Now, as mentioned earlier, iCarly wasn't just a show. It was a glimpse into the future of content creation. Nowadays, you see a lot of streamers on Twitch and YouTube, such as Kai Cenat and iShowSpeed, making bank from posting content and being entertaining. Right. Now let's talk about the core identity of iCarly. iCarly was all about flashy visuals, unpredictable creativity, catchphrases, and fan interaction. Back then, creators didn't really think of themselves as brands. They were just posting videos for fun. And I'm not gonna lie, I want a lot of people, myself included, to get back to doing that. Post because you love it, not just for the likes, subscribers, followers, etc. That will come when you show up as yourself. Carly, Sam, and Freddie did it because they loved what they were doing and people were rocking with them as a result. Also, I cannot forget to mention the intro. The show does not start until Freddie goes in 5, 4, 3, 2, and then points to Carly and Sam. Now, iCarly wasn't just a show. It was a brand that people wanted to be a part of. Now, instead of relying on another platform to bring them views, they created their own platform and drove traffic there through marketing strategies, which was another entire iCarly episode. iCarly isn't just a nostalgic TV show. It foreshadowed the creator economy, even though it was unintentional. What do you do when no one's watching your content? In one of the earliest iCarly episodes, Carly, Sam, and Freddie went through the same struggle that every creator does. How do I get people to notice me? How do you actually get seen? So you have your product, you have your service, you have content, etc. And the next step is to put it out to the world so it can be seen and eventually lead to paying customers or long-time viewers. So how do we actually get seen? The iCarly episode that I am referring to in this video is titled, I Want More Viewers. In this episode, the iCarly crew is trying to figure out how to get more viewers for their web show. They got the same number of views as they did in the previous episode, which sparked a competition between Carly, Sam, Freddie, and Carly's brother Spencer to see who could get the most viewers. Carly and Sam would be on one team, and Freddie and Spencer would be on the other team. The loser would have to touch a nasty wart on Lubert, the doorman of the apartment building that they stayed in. Now, the biggest problem that the iCarly crew were running into is that they were putting a lot of effort into their content, but no one was really watching. So they come up with the idea to create a colorful banner and get it shown on Seattle Beat, which is a popular TV show within the iCarly universe, which generates high ratings. Unfortunately, this backfires on them because it starts raining outside and their sign got ruined before it could be seen on TV. Now, what made it even worse is that the Seattle Beat host roasted it, saying,
"That sign is messed up."
I mean, talk about an embarrassing moment for Carly and Sam. And I know that you can probably relate to Carly and Sam's struggle. I have myself, and I'll even admit I still go through this at times. It's clear that just putting out content or a product or service is just not enough. We have to make sure that it is being seen by the right audience. So you got something good, but no one's seeing it. You're doing all the work, but it's just not clicking yet. That's one of the main reasons why I created The Experience, a full brand building system designed to help you get clear on who you are, build your presence online, and attract the right audience. It's not about going viral. It's about building a brand that people will remember. If that's something that you need, the link is in the description below. Let's go from confusion to clarity. All right, so Freddie and Spencer decided to put up a large electronic sign overlooking a major highway in downtown Seattle. They showed it live during an iCarly broadcast. The sign read, "Please go online to iCarly.com. However, this is where things got ugly. Because the sign was so bright, it caused a major multi-vehicle crash on the highway. Spencer was panicking, trying to turn the sign off, but it malfunctions and all but 9 letters blow out, spelling the message, P on Carl. Now, if my name was Carl, I would be pretty pissed, no pun intended. This got Spencer in trouble with the law, which he really should have been arrested. The incident went viral. Lots of messages came flooding into iCarly.com from people who thought the sign mishap was hilarious. Spencer was brought home by 2 police officers. One was ironically named Carl, who was offended by the sign, and I don't blame him one bit. Both plans backfired, so both teams just decided to take the L and call off the competition. And to be honest, both teams should have suffered the consequences. Now, the lesson in this is that what you may see as a failure may be the reason why people become attached to your brand. The sign mishap was accidental, but you can move with intention. Share both your failures and your wins. People are searching for content that they can relate to, not what is perfect and polished. They want to see those moments when you're still trying to figure it out. That's something that we all go through. We all have to go through this stage at some point. All right, so the major takeaways from this video is that people share moments, not just content. The sign malfunction gave people something worth talking about. Number 2, you need a hook or a spark. The show was good, but it needed that one big moment. What do you feel your brand needs at the moment in order for it to go from good to great? And number 3, awareness sometimes comes from unplanned exposure. Great marketing sometimes starts with an accident or a story that spreads on its own. The sign incident was the big moment that turned iCarly around for the better. So I want to ask you, what is your big moment? And the thing is, it doesn't even have to be anything elaborate. It could be a story, a unique idea, a perspective, or an event. The big question is, are you giving people a reason to share your content? iCarly didn't grow because they begged for more views. It grew because they gave people something worth talking about. Have you been thinking about doing brand deals? In 2008, iCarly predicted the biggest problem in influencer marketing. And it all started with a brand deal that, now, as we grow our brand, other brands may want to come to us wanting us to promote their product, which could be a win-win for both sides. Monetization for us, more customers for them. But we gotta be careful when deciding to work with other brands. So the iCarly squad was putting up record numbers show after show. After iCarly received its highest viewership, a shoe company called Deca Shoes, basically a fictional version of Nike, reached out to Carly, Sam, and Freddie, wanting them to promote their new shoe called the Techfoot, a high-tech shoe which had the following features. It had Wi-Fi, it had a pedometer, and it had a foot warmer. They were sold, and as a result, they got paid big money. However, where they screwed up is they agreed without testing the product. They were so swayed by how much money they were getting from the deal, and they didn't even bother to test it out. Lesson number 1. If you are going to do brand deals, please test the product first before you promote it to your audience. Please. Carly and Sam promote the Techfoots live on iCarly. But when they actually try on the shoes, they realize that the shoes are trash. They were uncomfortable, they squeaked when you walked in them, they wiped out your whole computer if you used the Wi-Fi, and they fell apart when they got wet. Before they knew it, their audience had already went out and bought the shoes without hesitation. All because they trusted Carly and Sam. Carly and Sam broke their audience's trust by not trying out the Techfoot before promoting it to their audience. And as a result, their viewership tanked. Lesson number 2, your audience trusts you. It is your responsibility to make sure that you are not deceiving them. Now, to fix their mistake, the iCarly squad goes to the Deca headquarters to confront the Deca president about the Techfoots. The president dismisses their comments as minor problems, but the iCarly squad tries to get out of their contract with Deca, but they are violating the terms of their contract if they do. However, they find a loophole in the contract. The contract states that they are only to talk about the Techfoots in a positive way, which is a red flag because it doesn't allow them to provide an honest review of the shoes. iCarly then reveals the flaws of the shoes in a sarcastically positive way on the web show. And the Deca executives didn't like the fact that they discovered this loophole, so they agreed to pay them $30,000 to stop talking about the shoes entirely. So the iCarly crew technically didn't break any rules. But let's dial it back for a bit. Carly, Sam, and Freddie were too young to enter into a contract with a major corporation like Deca to begin with, unless a legal guardian like Carly's brother Spencer was present to sign the contract. So this contract should have been null and void to begin with. But you gotta consider the fact that this is a Nickelodeon show we're talking about here, so you can't always depend on logic. All right, now let's shift from Nickelodeon to the real world. because there are a few examples of brand deals gone wrong that we need to talk about. Alright, so the first one. Y'all remember the Fire Festival back in 2017? Yikes. The Fire Festival was supposed to be this big luxury music festival in the Bahamas. It was heavily promoted by some of the top social media influencers at the time, who did not disclose that they were paid big money to promote the festival, which was red flag number one. If you're getting paid to promote something, you need to disclose that clearly to your audience. What I like now is that if you're doing a paid sponsorship video on YouTube, you have to let YouTube know that it is a paid sponsorship when you upload the video. This creates transparency between you, YouTube, and your audience. Also, other platforms like Instagram and TikTok have their own policies in place when it comes to product placements and sponsorships. And to be honest, the age of the influencers is dying. People want to see real, authentic content from people that they can relate to, and are seeing right through what a whole lot of these influencers are doing. Now, the second red flag is that the festival did not deliver on what was promised. The Fire Festival was hyped as a luxury festival experience, with luxury accommodations, meals from celebrity chefs, and a lineup of 33 artists. However, all of these acts pulled out leading up to the event, and most of the hotels and vacation rentals were unavailable due to another event happening at the same time in the Bahamas. And instead of receiving the gourmet meals and luxury villas that the attendees were promised, they received packaged sandwiches and camped out in poorly furnished tents. Now, the lesson with this is to always deliver on what you promise. If you are providing a product or service, make sure that you deliver on what you promise to your customers. If you don't, you will lose them just like that. Now, a more recent example is the Honey extension scam. If you're unfamiliar with it, Honey is a browser extension owned by PayPal that allows you to find good deals when you're shopping online. And it was heavily promoted by top influencers. Only this time, it was both the influencers and the users getting scammed by Honey. Honey would take the affiliate revenue that influencers would get from promoting the product by swapping the influencer's link that you would click on with its own tracking link, resulting in Honey getting credit for the sale rather than the YouTuber or website that led you there. Also, Honey would not deliver on the claim that they would find every working promo code on the internet, and they collected tons of user data without their consent. Now, if you want to know more about this, I recommend you check out Megalag's video breaking this down. I'll link it in the description below. In the iCarly Techfoots episode, fans didn't question the product. They trusted Carly and Sam. With the Fire Festival, fans trusted the influencers. With Honey, fans trusted the creators who were promoting the product. That trust is a gift. Do not take it for granted. It takes a very, very long time to even build trust with your audience. And with that trust comes responsibility. And with all of these scandals, they never tested the product before pushing it. That is a recipe for disaster. Always, always, always test the product before you promote it to your audience. That way you are not leading people astray. One bad deal makes your audience skeptical of every brand that you mention. And if you mess up, own it. Carly and Sam eventually roasted the shoes on their own show, which helped them earn their trust back. Marquez Brownlee, one of the creators who promoted Honey, owned up to his mistake. Sometimes honesty is the only fix. Now, before you say yes to any sponsorship, ask yourself, would I use this if I wasn't getting paid? Does this align with my brand and audience? And what is the long-term cost of saying yes? Don't chase the bag too fast. Your integrity matters more than money. Period. All right, to wrap this up, even though the iCarly Techfoots episode was fictional, creators face this problem all the time when working with big name brands. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more strategies on how to build your brand. Now, if no one else told you, you matter, and you were put on this earth to be great.